The 60s and 70s were times of significant change. These decades saw political unrest, challenging economic conditions, and notable shifts in both cars and foods. Packaged snacks became increasingly popular during this period. Nearly every American household showed interest in them, and there was a wide variety available to choose from. While some snack items were unusual, others were genuinely tasty. Many of these snacks have since been modified or disappeared entirely. Let's take a closer look at these classic foods that we all enjoyed. Brands during the 60s and 70s were quite inventive, making concerted efforts to capture your attention. The Banana Flip is a good example of that. They were made by a few snack cake brands like Nichols and Mickey's. This was essentially a yellow banana cake that was folded in a half moon and stuffed with cream filling. It really looked like a cake taco. You may have had a favorite snack back then, and there's a good chance that it might have been made by Nabisco. Did you enjoy cheese tidbits? These tasty snacks came in a stick shape, setting them apart from other options. They were available for a long time, but you can't find them anywhere these days. I suppose we'll have to settle for Goldfish and Cheez-Its instead. If you were concerned about calorie intake while snacking, you might have given these a try. At only 44 calories per stick, they were really as light as gravity in space. They were made by Pillsbury and trademarked in 1970. This space snack was supposed to be a nutritionally balanced stick of protein, fat, and carbohydrates. They came in 6 flavors, such as chocolate, peanut butter, and caramel. They disappeared from the shelves in the 1980s. Looking at the box design today, it reminds me of something you would see on a box of dog snacks. There was a serious war going on between cereals. Baron von Redberry was a cereal introduced by General Mills around 1972, featuring a character resembling a German pilot from World War I. It was likely inspired by the real Red Baron, Manfred von Richthofen. The cereal itself was made up of berry-flavored oat pieces with sweet berry marshmallows, giving it a strong fruit punch flavor. Baron von Redberry was the rival of Sir Grapefellow, the mascot for another General Mills cereal. In their playful competition to prove superiority, Redberry would declare, "Baron von Redberry is the berry best." In response, Grapefellow would retort, "Sir Grapefellow is the grapest." Another intriguing cereal from that era is Crazy Cow, introduced by General Mills in 1976 and available in chocolate or strawberry flavors. They took the kick-shaped cereal pieces and coated them with either chocolate or strawberry powder, creating a tasty flavored milk after you finished your cereal. Like many cereals from that time, Crazy Cow included various incentives to entice kids to ask their parents for a box. One of the promotional items was a Star Wars trading card. These cards were popular collectibles because they featured different designs than the ones sold in regular packs. Aspen was a sparkling apple-flavored soda sold nationwide by PepsiCo. It was launched in 1978 but was discontinued in 1982. In 1984, PepsiCo introduced a new apple soda as part of its Slice product line. Long before we had Google, there were Googles. These were made by Dolly Madison, and they were a type of snack cake. They also made Cuckoos and Razzies. Part of their brilliant marketing plan included having peanut characters on their packaging, as if a kid needed any more help enticing him to have a snack or two of sweets. Cuckoos were basically like ding-dongs, while Razzies were a golden cake version of Cuckoos. Googles are a bit more mysterious. I've never had one or seen them in stores. When I tried searching for information on Googles online, there wasn't much available. From what I could gather, they were yellow cakes topped with white frosting and possibly sprinkled with cinnamon. If you've ever tried a Google, please share your thoughts in the comments. They seem almost as elusive as Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. Another product with a crazy name was Kugel. This was a flavored peanut spread marketed by Kraft and released in 1971. It was available in several flavors like chocolate, vanilla, banana, and cinnamon. The product was meant to be placed on sandwiches, crackers, or anything else that you would put peanut butter on. The best part about it is that it wouldn't make your mouth stick together. Pizza Spins may be a product you remember in the early 70s. They weren't around too long. They launched in 1968 and were pulled in 1975, but their legend lives on. The crispy pinwheel-shaped snack took the flavors of pizza and put it into a chip form. What's better than a chip flavored with cheese, tomatoes, and other spices? It's interesting to see the box, though. The pizza has no cheese on it. Can it really be called a pizza with no cheese? Remember Toastettes? Before Pop-Tarts became a household name, there were several toaster treats to pick from. Toastettes were introduced by Nabisco in 1967 and became widely available in the 70s. Some folks even preferred them over Pop-Tarts. They had a thin crust, a warm filling, and a light dusting of sugar on top. They were a perfect way to kickstart your morning. However, they disappeared from shelves in 2002. These are certainly one snack that you can't see anymore. In 1976, Danish rings hit the market, and they were actually a replacement for the Danish go-rounds, which broke too easily. These new and improved Danish rings were made by Kellogg. They were a bit like Pop-Tarts, but were flakier and oval-shaped. Even though they sounded great, they never really caught on, and they were discontinued in 1980. Do you recall the Reggie Bar? In 1976, while playing in Baltimore, Jackson famously quipped, "If I played in New York, they'd name a candy bar after me." And that's precisely what happened during the Yankees' home opener in 1978 on April 13th. The Standard Brands Company came up with a round bar filled with peanuts, covered in caramel, and coated with chocolate. Interestingly, this treat was initially called the Wayne Bun and was produced in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fans at Yankee Stadium received Reggie bars as they entered. When Jackson hit a home run, fans in the stands began tossing Reggie bars onto the field in excitement. However, the Reggie bar didn't stick around for long. Its career came to an end in 1981. Fruit Brute cereal was made by General Mills and was introduced in 1974. The cereal was described on the box as a fruit-flavored frosted cereal and marshmallow bits. The mascot for the cereal was a werewolf, also named Fruit Brute. The cereal is long gone, but apparently Quentin Tarantino must have been a fan. It made cameo appearances in 1992's Reservoir Dogs and also the 1994 film Pulp Fiction. Did you have a fondness for tuna growing up? Or perhaps your mom kept serving it to you? If you were looking to spice up your tuna dishes, Tuna Twist might have caught your eye. This seasoning mix combined a mix of vegetables, herbs, and spices. It was available in 3 flavors: onion, cheddar, and Italian. You just needed to add a can of tuna, some mayonnaise, and a pack of Tuna Twist. Marketed as a meal stretcher, it promised to turn 4 sandwiches into 6. The ads from that time were quite memorable, featuring characters like Sir Celery and Miss Parsley, the Onion Twins, singing about giving tuna a garden-fresh taste. However, Tuna Twist had a significant issue. It contained a textured vegetable protein that made people ill, leading to its removal from store shelves. How about some mug-a-lunch? It was exactly how it sounds. Add the ingredients to a mug, then just add boiling water and wait 4 minutes. This meal was introduced in 1976 by Betty Crocker, so it had to be good, right? It came in a few different varieties like macaroni and cheese, spaghetti, and beef noodles with gravy. Nowadays, the modern microwave versions make this seem less amazing. If you were having a dinner party, all you really needed as a snack was some crackers and Nabisco's Snackmate cheese. It was introduced in 1966, but it remained really popular throughout the 70s. Everyone always felt like a professional confectionery trying to spray the cheese, and if you were really daring, you could just go straight for your mouth. The product can still be found, but they have changed the name to Easy Cheese. Sprawling shopping malls were everywhere, offering a one-stop destination for shopping and grabbing a quick meal. If you were hosting a gathering, Hickory Farm Store was the go-to spot for tasty snacks. They didn't just offer cheese, crackers, and sausage rolls. They also had their own line of chocolate bars. These days, malls are becoming less common, and Hickory Farm stores seem to be fading away too. Thankfully, some of their popular snacks can still be found. Packaging back then had its own charm. Ding-dongs were wrapped in foil, con swirls had a foil base, and chocolate pudding came in tin cans. There was something about that old-school packaging that seemed to enhance the taste. Remember Swanson's TV dinners? While they had been around since the 40s and 50s, They really took off in the 60s and 70s, especially with their aluminum trays. As more families had both parents working, these dinners were a convenient solution. Just pop them in the oven, wait for about 45 minutes, and dinner was served. It's funny to think we didn't really mind waiting that long back then. Kids today might not grasp the challenges we faced. If your peas ended up in your cherry dessert, it felt like playing a game of Operation trying to separate them. And heaven help you if your green beans got mixed up and baked with your brownie. I hope you enjoyed this nostalgic trip down memory lane with some of the forgotten snacks. Those were indeed simpler times, yet filled with so many choices. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.